Welcome to the channel, Unfinished Worlds.
The wind howls across empty boulevards, dust spirals between gleaming towers. A traffic light blinks green, amber, red, guiding no one. Somewhere in Inner Mongolia exists a place that shouldn't exist. A metropolis with 8-lane highways echoing with silence. Shopping malls where mannequins outnumber shoppers. Apartment towers with lights that never turn on. This is Ordos, a city built for 1 million souls, where hardly anyone lives. It has everything. Theaters rivaling Broadway, museums worthy of Paris, residential blocks that could house San Francisco. Everything except people. This is the story of the greatest urban dream that never woke up. A monument to ambition and broken promises. Welcome to the city that never lived. Part 1. The promise. To understand how a city can be born empty, we must go back to the beginning. When Ordos wasn't a ghost city, it was a promise. Picture China in 2003. Shanghai's skyline grew taller weekly. Beijing prepared for the Olympics. The nation pulsed with progress fever, and nowhere burned hotter than Ordos. Beneath Inner Mongolia's windswept grasslands lay black gold, coal, millions of tons, plus rare earth minerals powering every smartphone and computer the modern world craved. Overnight, Ordos transformed from forgotten frontier into one of China's wealthiest cities. Money flooded in, but sudden wealth demands purpose. City leaders didn't just want riches, they wanted history to remember their names. They wanted China's Dubai, a desert jewel making the world gasp. In 2004, Kangbashi New District was born. The vision was breathtaking. 350 square kilometers of planned perfection, nearly Las Vegas's size. Wide tree-lined boulevards, a plaza larger than Tiananmen Square, museums, theaters, libraries, schools, hospitals, an entire city designed from scratch. Architects spoke in poetry, a modern desert oasis, a sustainable utopia. Tomorrow's city, built today. 1 million people would live there. Investment, 161 billion yuan, roughly 25 billion US dollars. One of history's most ambitious urban projects. Target completion, 2020. The future had an address, Kangbashi. Construction began immediately. Thousands of workers mobilized. International firms competed for contracts. Concrete trucks rolled day and night. The dream was taking shape. And for a while, everything seemed possible. Part 2. The building. For 5 years, Kangbashi became Earth's largest construction site. Cranes swung across horizons like mechanical dancers. Concrete mixers rumbled through nights. Steel frames climbed toward clouds. Hammers, drills, welding torches. The symphony of progress never ceased. Architectural firms worldwide designed buildings defying gravity. A museum shaped like ancient desert stones, all organic curves. A glass-walled library reflecting endless Mongolian sky. A stadium ready for international competitions. Residential towers in pastel pink, yellow, blue. Hundreds standing in perfect rows. By 2009, the impossible happened. Kangbashi looked complete. Roads gleamed smooth as glass. Street lamps lined every avenue. Parks bloomed with sculpted gardens and artificial lakes. Schools opened with hired teachers and furnished classrooms. The Ordos Museum, an architectural masterpiece, stood waiting for visitors. Everything was ready. The stage was set. But then, nothing. Apartments remained dark, schools sat empty. Store owners unlocked doors each morning and waited. And waited. Fountains danced for nobody. Here's where it gets interesting. The apartments had sold, tens of thousands, but not to people wanting to live there, to investors. Middle-class families, doctors, business people, coal miners flush with wealth, they bought Kangbashi properties. Not to inhabit, but to own. In China's explosive economy, real estate was the safest bet. Buy today, sell tomorrow for double. A game everyone believed would never end. But all games end. In 2011, the coal market cooled. Global demand softened. Prices dropped. Money rivers flowing into Ordos slowed, then stopped. Suddenly, nobody was buying. Investors planning to flip properties found no buyers. Without buyers, no reason to move in. The Dream City, meticulously planned for 1 million, housed fewer than 30,000. Kangbashi became a stage set awaiting a play that would never be performed. The streets remained pristine but silent. The buildings stood tall but hollow. Everything functioned perfectly. The electricity, the water, the infrastructure, but there was nobody to use it. It was like walking through a movie set after filming Wrapped. Beautiful, impressive, and utterly lifeless. And that's when the world noticed. Part 3. The Fall. In 2012, photographs circulated online. Impossible images, empty highways stretching endlessly, shopping malls with every store shuttered, a massive plaza where one janitor swept fallen leaves across acres of marble. The photos went viral. Ordos received a new name, China's Ghost City. Journalists arrived worldwide, cameras rolling. They filmed abandoned construction sites where weeds pushed through concrete. They interviewed bewildered shop owners serving customers who never came. They walked residential towers where entire floors remained untouched, furniture wrapped in plastic, kitchens never cooking a meal. The silence was most disturbing. A city designed for 1 million voices, and you heard only wind and echoing footsteps. Ordos became a symbol overnight, but not the intended symbol. Instead of representing China's triumph, it became a cautionary tale about excess, about building faster than reality permits. The numbers were devastating. Occupancy rates below 10%, hundreds of unfinished buildings, skeletal frames exposed to sandstorms. Developers who'd borrowed millions went bankrupt. Banks foreclosed on properties worth fractions of construction costs. Local government panicked. They slashed prices, offered subsidies to anyone relocating, desperately tried attracting businesses, schools, hospitals, anything drawing people to this beautiful emptiness. Most efforts failed. The damage was done. Ordos wasn't just empty, it was famous for emptiness. Who wants being first into a ghost city? By 2015, Kangbashi housed fewer than 30,000 permanent residents in a city built for 1 million. Regional GDP had dropped 25%. Government debt ratios became China's highest. Ordos stood as a miscalculation monument, a reminder you can't manufacture community from blueprints and concrete alone. Experts debated what went wrong. Some blamed corruption, others pointed to poor planning. Many said it was simply bad timing. The economic boom ended before the city could fill. But the real problem was simpler and deeper. They'd forgotten that cities aren't just buildings. Cities are people. Living, breathing communities formed through countless small connections. You can't rush that. You can't engineer it. Or can you? Because something unexpected was about to happen. Part 4. The Remains. Cities are strange. They possess a survival will defying logic. Slowly, so slowly nobody noticed initially, people began arriving. Not the imagined floods, but a trickle. Government workers transferred from old districts. Young families attracted by cheap housing and good schools. Businesses seeking affordable office space. By 2018, something remarkable happened. Kangbashi was awakening. Not fully, not close to planned capacity, but alive. Today, around 150,000 people call Kangbashi home. Schools operate with real students. Traffic lights direct actual traffic. Not much, but enough. Some neighborhoods thrive with coffee shops and restaurants where neighbors gather. The Ordos Museum finally hosts visitors admiring collections and architecture. Parks see weekend families. Children bike down impossibly wide boulevards. At night, apartment windows glow warm. Yet it remains strange. Walk certain districts and feel it. That ghost echo of emptiness. Entire blocks stay dark. Shopping centers operate at fraction capacity. The city wears its history like a scar. Kangbashi exists in limbo. Not dead, not fully alive. A city that overestimated its future but refused complete surrender. The million-resident vision may never happen. But Kangbashi became something else, something unintended. A lesson. A warning written in glass, steel, and empty streets. A reminder that cities aren't just buildings and infrastructure. They're people. Communities, relationships formed across years and decades. You can't rush that, can't design it, certainly can't force it. Yet against all odds, Kangbashi survives. Quieter than planned, humbler than imagined, but surviving. The resilience is almost admirable, like a dream refusing to die, adapting instead to harsh reality. Which raises the real question, what does Ordos teach us? The lesson. Here's what matters most about Ordos. It wasn't built by villains. There were no corrupt officials deliberately wasting money, no evil masterminds. Kangbashi was built by optimism, by people who genuinely believed progress could be designed, that prosperity could be engineered. They looked at their wealth and asked, what if we could build the perfect city? That's not a foolish question. It's actually quite beautiful. The mistake was believing that building it was enough. That if you constructed the infrastructure, the community would automatically follow. But cities don't work that way. Cities are organic. They grow from necessity, from opportunity, from thousands of individuals making thousands of personal decisions about where to work, live, and raise families. You can't skip that messy, unpredictable process. You can't manufacture it no matter how much money you spend. Progress needs people, not just plans. Ordos stands as a paradox, not quite a failure since it's partially inhabited now, but certainly not the success its creators envisioned. A half-realized dream that cost billions and delivered a fraction of what was promised. And here's what should concern us. Ordos isn't alone. Around the world, similar dreams are rising. In Saudi Arabia, they're building Neom, a $500 billion megacity in the desert, promising to house millions with flying cars and robot servants. In Egypt, a new administrative capital is rising from the sand, meant to replace Cairo. In Malaysia, Forest City emerges from reclaimed land, designed for 700,000 residents. In Africa and South America, ambitious projects promise transformation through massive construction. Some will succeed. Some will learn from Ordos' mistakes, building gradually, organically, letting communities form naturally. But others won't. They'll repeat the same errors, the same optimism disconnected from reality, the same belief that grand vision alone creates great cities. And somewhere, another ghost city will be born. Ordos reminds us that bigger isn't always better, that the grandest dreams sometimes become the emptiest monuments. But it also shows us resilience. Because Kangbashi didn't die. It adapted. It became something different than planned, smaller, humbler, but real. Perhaps that's the real lesson. The city that never lived is living now. Just not the life anyone expected.